Hello everyone and welcome to this special video. We are going to be talking about the recent blog that came out, which is about the roadmap for part of this year. Quite a lot of things were talked about, and it's a lot to go over, but I'm going to try and get all of it together in one video for you guys, especially because I think not too long after the roadmap blog was posted in April, blog was posted and they're talking about the new character update. That's what it is. So we're gonna start off by talking about their according to plan. Apparently they have a new system for talking about how they do things in Star Stable. It is called a layer system. So it's currently, from what I understand from the article, it's a prototype system of how they are releasing updates into the game. These at least three layers from what I can see from the article, being called Foundation and Never Stop Believing and Discovery. So the Foundation layer, according to what the article states, is a general idea of what the year holds as far as what the team plans to add into game. For example, this article just let us know that they just wrapped up the Rainbow Festival coming in June, which is quite a big festival for all of us. Never Stop Believing layer, gotta love the name. According to what I understand from the article, content seems to be what they want to add to improve the game forward. For example, the effortless horse riding update in that whole system, and the discovery layer, according to what the article states, seems to be content for future updates but aren't promised. For example, this summer they will start looking into the idea of breeding and Generation 4 horses. Now I say this all out first because a lot of people I've seen going around like, oh, they're going to add breeding, oh, Generation 4 horses are happening, and yes, while that is the generalized plan, we don't know when this will come out. This isn't coming out this year. It's going to be probably 2024, 2025, at the latest. This isn't happening anytime soon, and not a lot of stuff was said on Generation 4 horses, but I'm going to get into that. Alright, so we're going to next talk about the updated character, which has been long awaited. Unfortunately, the beta was not released. Now, I'm not a beta tester, but obviously from the people who do have beta permission, they weren't able to do it. And this was because of the horse, what is it? It was, I believe it was the effortless horse riding system. So the effortless horse riding update kind of delayed it because there were so many bugs. Now, why release it if you knew it came with bugs? Well, unfortunately, a lot of things would have been delayed otherwise. As you can see here, I will read what it says. And to question why we did release this if we knew it came with bugs, it's a super good question. The answer, this update is the first in a series of changes to how you will experience your horse and also your new character. So if we didn't release the state machine when we did it, it would also have delayed the horse progression that is scheduled for May, which is, I believe, I'm looking at the calendar right, it's May 24th, I believe, is when that update comes out, or is supposed to come out. Things can change, obviously. So back to where I was reading. It would have delayed the horse progression that is scheduled for May, and it would have, and the new player character that would come out around the summer. So it was a risk releasing it with the few bugs, and just knowing that they could fix the majority of those bugs once it comes out instead of having to delay pretty much everything else. So, I mean, I think that was a smart move on Star Stable's part to do, given that this year looks pretty packed, and this is only like from, I believe, some of the things aren't stated as to when they are coming out, but this is a general idea of how the summer's going to look, I guess. Not a lot really is said, not a lot of dates are really given, so you basically have to take this with a grain of salt, always. Especially when they don't have or release any of like the full informations, like dates of, oh, this is going to come out when. But, however, the new character, which we are going to talk about next, this is going to come out sometime ideally in June. Now, hopefully it's June, not till July, because July I'm going to be on vacation for the first 2 weeks with my family. So, let's just hope that everything stays on track and head straight for June, not July. Not July, but June. It does seem like they want to do, from the other article, a beta before it is released, but obviously they don't know. It really depends. And hopefully it will be in June. Of course, there are several technical aspects, including the performance optimization, bug fixing. They also don't really want to so I'm going to read what it says here. We do want to release it as soon as we can, and as we can't wait to let you all access these options and enjoy the updated graphics. We're at a point where we feel confident about the stability of the release and feel like the player character has a solid foundation that we can build on for years to come. That's very good news. That means hopefully it will be sometime in June. I know somewhere in the article that they were hoping to release it right before the Rainbow Festival, which would be great, but obviously that will depend on how everything goes on their end. And in May, they are planning to do a small update with the beauty salons to improve access to appearance change and better visibility of the hairstyle and makeup you have in your inventory. Meaning that you will no longer have to go into your stable to change your main character's feature. Well, that's kind of interesting, because I remember when that feature came out, it was actually a really cool feature. So I don't know how this is going to all be implemented once it's all said and done, but it's still really interesting to see, I guess, once this update comes out, which I'm not entirely sure when. I think it's around the same time that the Pentavians and the, the two Morgans come out, but we'll have to see. Alright, so obviously definitely excited to see what they do with the player update. That's going to be very interesting. Hopefully we'll have an announcement sometime very soon on when it's going to be officially done. Hopefully there can still be another beta. Fingers crossed for that. And for all you guys who do have beta access. So we're gonna hop right into Gen 4 horses and breeding, because everyone's freaking out like this is coming soon. This is nowhere near ready. They're only starting this project and starting to look into it this summer. So I'm gonna read to you guys what it says. When looking into the feedback we got regarding breeding and combine that our thoughts of Gen 4 horses, we have merged these two discoveries into one, with still having in mind that we are exploring ideas, and we think that the Gen 4 horses should be the first generation that offer you some customization and uniqueness rather than going all in on breeding. With previous generations, we have done graphical updates based on the same system, and now we want to update the system instead to put more creative freedom for you as the owner of the horse. This involves how we handle tack, coat options, and animations. This full discovery won't start till after summer, so don't expect us to see this during the game during 2013. Please let us know what you think the Gen 4 horses should include already, now that we can include this in our discovery. So this is very interesting because we're pretty much at the at the end of the line in regards to having all the Gen 1 for Gen 2 breeds updated or updated to Gen 3. So this is where it gets confusing. I don't know now what we're going to do with Gen 3 horses. Obviously, this isn't coming anytime soon, and these horses will be considered the current standard. So, I really don't know what to think about this. Will they merge it into one, like have the option, like if you should own like a certain horse that you like that is a Gen 3 horse, will you be able to customize it eventually once this update comes out? That's not really explained. I think they're saying this more as they don't even know what they're going to do yet. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is going to be like breeding, and this is only the discovery. They're not even saying that this is officially coming into the game yet. And this is where it kind of annoys me, where I see people saying, oh, well, breeding is coming, Generation 4 horses are coming, and obviously it's saying here that they do want to combine that idea. But right now, they don't even know what they're going to do. And they want to further explore this come summer. So we're probably not going to hear or really know the game plan until probably much later this year. I would be interested to see if we get an update subject in August. It's just, I don't know how to feel about this because we've had all these breeds updated and now we're moving into another possible generation. I mean, I could see them definitely like, what's the word? Like, coding Generation 3 horses up to the standard of Gen 4, but there's not a lot said, and that's why I don't think we could really like jump to conclusions and make assumptions, because it's not even really well stated yet on what they want to do. Alright, so the next thing I'm just going to jump right into is Hollow Woods. This is quite a big deal because I don't remember which year it was. It was either 2018 or 2019. I think it was 2019 though. Hollow Woods is getting a graphical update. Now this was announced back when that live stream was done, but we've heard nothing since. So I'm going to read what it says here. Something that has been in the new layer, but we didn't share in January, is the revamp of Dramatic Music Hollow Woods. The reason we didn't share this news already in January is that we don't just want to do a graphical update, but we also want to take the opportunity to include more engaging content and things to explore. We want to do justice to the mystical Hollow Woods and also give it meaning and purpose to visit. That is going to be interesting to see, and explains why it's taken so many years for them to really decide or say anything. Now, keep in mind, every area that has like old graphics is going to be updated at some point, but they're saying Hollow Woods is absolutely going to be done very soon. Now, they're not really giving us a date, so we don't know if it's coming this year. I assume, because they're saying it now, it is. It's just we don't have an exact date for it. I'm going to take a wild guess and say, like, probably late summer, maybe the fall, but that's just my personal guess. That's not actual information I gathered from anywhere. That's just what I would guess. Obviously, I'm sure Star Stable will tell us more, depending on if and when this update is ready. Alright, so now we're going to talk about this. We actually got concept art of how they want her to look in game. Now, whether or not we're going to meet her is not really explained, but I will read to you what it says here. It says, Aideen. Since Aideen gave up her physical form to give riders and horses on Jorvik the magical bond, it is very unlikely we ever get to see her in true form. Some still believe it's a girl on a horse, but others talk about a magical being half girl, half horse, and when horses and riders form that bond, Aideen is whole again. So it also says here, at this point in the game, which it says above, corner section of the log here, at this point in the game, as a player, you have used magic in a number of times, and your opponents too. But do you know where this magic actually comes from and how the magic correlates to the magic of Dark Riders and Pandoria? We are currently overseeing how the in-game rare representation aligns with the context of the lore. So we will explore the magic from several aspects in order to have our magic be visibly compelling, so you as a player understand where its sources come from. We will let the power of Aideen guide us on this mission. So this is quite big. This has been an issue for years. I've heard players constantly talk about this, about how we really don't have a true baseline to go off of, especially when we're explaining this game to other people, on how this magic all works. Yes, this is a sci-fi and horse game mixed into one, but we really don't have a generalized idea on the magic and able to explain it properly, because there's tons of theories and the story has changed so much over the years. So this is going to be very interesting to see as going forward into the game. I do like the concept art of Aideen though. It looks really cool. I actually think this would be very interesting to see as the game continues. Definitely excited to see this concept art. It's actually a different direction that I would Star Stable to go in, but I'm all in for it. It looks really good. Definitely happy they want to explore more of the magic side and not just the standard that we're used to. Alright, so now we are going to talk about the Android release of Star Stable. We obviously have the iPhone where you can play it on iPhone now, but now we're talking about Android. So here's what they wrote about it. So they said, so what about Android? It seems we can have early access in Sweden the beginning of May, and this will be our fourth platform where you can play the game. Since I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, I do understand it feels like we have taken forever to get it out since the game is working on the iPhone. I wish it was easy as to copy and paste off the code. Yeah, gee, that's something I say to you guys a lot. It's not easy as copy and paste, even though I wish it was. But as someone who understands animation and coding, it doesn't work that way. Although we wish it did. A lot more stuff would be able to get done if that was the case. But the operating system, Android and iOS, are not the same, and each system has its own challenges to solve, especially when it comes to performance, meaning memory, handling, and lag. There are also some difference in how the UI is rendered on each phone that we need to adapt and make sure it works. With that said, despite it being hard and taking some time to get it out, we are quite proud of having the game with crossplay on PC, Mac, iPhone, and now, soon to come, Android devices. Now, I have an Android phone, and it's one of the newer ones that are out. I only got this phone like last year, I think. So I probably will be able to play on the Android phone, which is very exciting. I have a laptop, I have my PC, and now I'll obviously will have the Android phone. So I'm very interested to see how this all goes and how it works. It's very exciting news to hear that early access can start hopefully in the beginning of May for Sweden. And hopefully by the end of this year we'll be able to play it on our phones for us Android. Alright, so we are talking about lastly what did not go as planned. Pretty much all the delays that are going on that we might not see this year. We might be waiting another year, but we are going to just read into this and see what Star Stable has to say. What I hoped should have started now is the inventory revamp. This got delayed since we wanted to react to feedback we got from the horse aggression beta test. And since this is the same people, designers that are good with features and system, UI designers, and also gameplay programmers, we can't start this until the horse progression feature is ready to be released. But soon, this is not taken off the roadmap, only delayed. Another area that got delayed is this next step for horse bonding, the discovery of horse prestige and personality. Unfortunately, this will not happen until 2024, since we want to have full focus on the inventory revamp instead. We also had planned to do another beta test for the new character, as I said before, but this was postponed as we mentioned all the bugs that came with the effortless horse riding. As mentioned above, we will do both the beta and the actual release closer to the summer. So, I guess what they're saying is May. They're going to try and have a beta test before it's released in June, as they stated from the April article. So that's very exciting. Hopefully everything stays on track. That's a little unfortunate to hear about horse bonding, but we definitely do need an inventory update more. I do agree with that. So that's going to be very exciting. So the things that got higher priority is what I'm going to read about next. Then we have an initiative that we added to the roadmap, which is an initiative that goes across the whole company to have more focus on bugs. And then it is not that we are fixing bugs today, but we want to be more transparent and more informative about what bugs we are aware of, what bugs we are fixing, and in what release day we'll be out in. And yes, we have failed you both in this area when it comes to the information, but also the fixes themselves. So as a start, we will bring back a new version of the bug fix log on Star Stable Online, and also do social media posts with the latest bug fixes. The bug fix log on the web will be available in English to ensure that we can deliver bug fixes on a regular basis. So that makes sense that they're only going to do this in one language, because to have a ton of people translate it is a lot more work, and obviously would take time away from employees working on the important things that they need to. So I'm actually okay with that, because I'm fine with that because I speak English and only English. But I'm kind of glad that they are admitting that, hey, we haven't been transparent about all the bug fixes, and they are going to eventually make a part of the website where they have all the bug fixes in one place and update it frequently as updates come out. That's very good news, and that's going to be quite a big deal, I think. So obviously it is disappointing that the horse bonding won't happen until next year. But again, I understand it. It's a lot to plan for this year, and we've already gotten quite a good chunk of updates as far as performance goes, and as the year continues, I'm sure. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that all goes. Alright, so that's pretty much it. as far as a breakdown goes of all the things coming into game and all the things that mostly it's things that they are planning for the future that haven't really started yet, like Generation 4 horses and breeding as far as breeding goes. So that should be very interesting to see further updates on. I don't know how to feel about that, just because we've had so many breeds updated and not a lot of things were really mentioned how they're going to go about it. But I don't even think they know how they're going to go about it, because they said this whole project will not start until summer. So this is not coming out into this year. It might not even come out next year, given how they mentioned it in the article. It might take a year or two for this to happen, but that is very exciting, of the idea that you can customize your horses to your own personal preferences. Me, I like a lot of chrome with my horses. I like a lot of white markings, so that would be very cool just to have them custom to yourself. I do like that idea. It's just I don't know how they are going to implement it. Obviously, I love the fact that Hollowwoods will get a long-deserved update. That's going to be very exciting. There's probably going to be a quest line with it, as they said they want to make it everything and more than just a graphic update. Aideen and Exploring Magic, that's quite a huge deal, because we never really knew if we're going to meet her in game or not, or just the fact of explaining the magical origins even further, so that way we can better understand it ourselves. Let's see what else. The Android release, that's very exciting. Again, delayed content. A little bit disappointing that horse bonding will not be coming until 2014, but that's okay. That's fine. Eventually that update will come next year. All in all, very excited to see what Star Stable does, and I think the big takeaway from the community I've seen, is talking about Generation 4 horses and breeding. Obviously, nothing's set in stone right now, and I wish it was kind of talked about more as like, oh, this isn't something that's coming yet, this is something that they're just exploring as of right now. Hopefully it does come into game, because I've always wanted to see breeding added into the game. I always thought that would be a cool feature, and hopefully it is. But obviously, it's kind of like, I don't know, you have to explain it a little bit more, but they really can't, because they haven't even started to, even started the project of even looking into this. They've only taken away from what our feedback has been, and just starting to go off of that, which will be this summer. And this update won't even be out until maybe, if I had to make a prediction, late 2024 or early 2025. So this isn't even something that's set in stone, but everyone says, oh, it's coming soon. And I'm like, no, it's not coming soon. It's going to be quite a while before this even happens. But I want them, if they're going to do this, I want them to take as much time as they can and take as much feedback as they can from us, and that way we could all work together and make this so this is a very cool feature into the game. So with that said, that's pretty much all I have to talk about, and I'm very tired. I am recording this at almost 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm definitely done for today. So as always, you guys, remember to keep positive. Happy trails, everyone. Let me know what you are looking forward to seeing from this blog post, which I will have it posted in the comments if you want to read it yourself. As always, you guys, remember to keep positive. Happy trails, everyone. I will see you in the next video. Bye!